Hi, welcome back to the channel. So today I thought I would talk about something that I think all beginner flute players should have and use, regardless of whether you are 5 or 50. I think this tool is an absolute must-have and can really help you develop great technique and become a better player as you progress through your flute journey. So if you'd like to find out what that item is, then keep on watching. So the item that I will be talking about today is called the Thumport. What it basically is a little C-shaped balancing device that clips onto the bottom of the flute and provides a place for your thumb to actually hold the flute. So this product came about, might have been a Taiwanese flute player who developed this, and I'll show you what it looks like. So it comes in a little pouch, and mine's filthy, and I've got the blue one, but this is the first generation and that's what it looks like. So it literally just clips onto the bottom of your flute, and I will insert a clip of me putting it on so you know how to where to put it. And it just clips on, and because it is rubber, it doesn't scratch your flute, and it's very easy to put on, very easy to take off, and very easy to carry as well. Now, the reason why everybody should have this is because one of the hardest things you have to do as a beginner flute player is to learn how to balance the flute, because the flute is this sort of long, slippery tube. It can be very, very difficult to actually even hold it and keep it in place, let alone do all these complex sort of coordinated movements. So what this Thumport does is it, first of all, great visual cue, shows you exactly where you need to put your thumb so you don't need to be guessing. And also it's supposed to provide you with a bit of comfort and security in knowing that your flute won't roll back as you're doing your practice and as you're trying to play it. Now, I get a lot of questions from parents of students, especially, who sort of have this idea that a Thumport's something that they should get off as soon as possible, which I think is totally incorrect, because I know of so many professional flute players, some amazing flute players that actually use this, and they play in an orchestra, they perform professionally, and they still use one. Maybe they don't have a really bright colored one, but they definitely use this, because at the end of the day, what matters is that this helps them execute better technique because they're able to just hold the flute. There are probably a lot of different opinions on where your right thumb should be placed. Now, the way I was taught and the way that has worked best for me is that your right thumb should not actually be directly under your first finger on the flute. It should actually come back a little bit and sort of be at a 45-degree angle on the flute, and that matches up with where the Thumport sort of guides your thumb to be at. And the reason why that is because when you're holding the flute, your chin is sort of providing a force that pushes the flute forwards, and then combined with your left hand, which pushes the flute backwards. So you've got forwards and backwards, and then this right hand sort of completes that balance by pushing forward also, so that you can keep the flute stationary. Now, all the flute players would know that probably the most difficult note to play in terms of balance would just be middle C. So middle C is literally, you can only use 2 fingers to balance the flute. You can only use your left hand first finger and your right hand pinky finger, and so if you don't have that balance, the flute can roll around really, really easily. So personally, I don't use the Thumport on a daily basis, but I do strongly encourage all of my students to do that, and that has brought them great results because they're not sort of stressing out with just balancing the flute. It frees up sort of their awareness to concentrate on other things. I do still own one though, and sometimes on a bad day where I just can't get my grip on the flute, I will chuck this on just to help me get into my practice, and so I'm not wasting time just stressing about holding the flute. I believe this is the first generation model that I have. I think they've come out with a second generation now, which this clip bit sort of extends a little bit longer. I'm not a fan of that. I personally prefer the old generation. I guess it just fits a little bit more comfortably with me, but they do come in lots of different colors. I think come in blue, pink, yellow, green, silver, black. So there's color out there for everyone. And these are fairly inexpensive as well. I think in Australia you can get one for about $25 from sort of a music store that specializes in selling woodwind accessories and instruments, but otherwise you can purchase these online as well. They do also make these, I believe they make a fingerport version, which is a version that clips onto further up along the flute for your left hand. I haven't actually tried it out, and I don't intend on using it, so I don't know how it is, but if some of you out there who find holding the flute difficult on your left hand, then you can also consider that as well. I just think it's such a great tool because we all have different hands, and whatever you can find that will help you improve your technique, I think it's just worth trying, especially for young beginners. I've had a fair few students who have not been exposed to this tool, didn't know this tool existed, have as a result developed some pretty unhelpful posture habits that we're still trying to correct. And so if you can start off with the correct posture, start off with the correct finger position, you can save you a lot of time in the future from having to double back and correct that. That is all for today. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope this helped you in some way, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Happy fluting. Bye.